That's it's called a dead cat. It's to
I hate the
isolate
term. I love cats.
Noise from the speaker.
Cool. So, all right. Since we're finally going to get underway, I apologize and appreciate everybody's patience. We're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly of live-action adaptations of anime. How many people have seen the movie The Good, Bad, and the Ugly? It's an awesome movie. Definitely get to see it. It is the perfect spaghetti western. So, one thing I've learned from working in human resources for a dog's age is I don't read off the slide. But for anybody who cannot see it, and there's probably a hell of a ton of people
especially
who
because your
can.
computer's in the way of it.
And also because, you know...
The lights.
And also because red text can be hard for some people to read.
Well, it worked for what I was doing.
I mean, it works, yeah.
Go home, Anthony. All right, so the good of a live-action adaptation. A couple of things to always remember is it's going to respect and know the source material. Whoever made the movie or the series actually at least spent some time reading the manga or watching the anime or anything like that. The characters can be as accurate as possible. As we know, this is live action. You can't do all those fun things in live action that you can typically get away with in anime. They also try to engage an audience because depending on your age, depending on who you're hanging with, not all of your friends are going to be anime fans, but you want to go see this, but you could be like me and don't want to go into a movie theater by yourself because you've seen 15 horror movies about people getting killed in horror movies.
In horror movies?
Yeah, in horror movies and movie theaters. So you're not stupid. You know that there's a knife somewhere. So you need to take your friends and you need to make sure that they're going to at least enjoy it. So with these good series, you can actually make new anime fans based on a great live action adaptation. So the first, which kind of funny that somebody should say this, is Alita Battle Angel. So if you're not familiar with the original source material, Alita Battle Angel, yes, was a manga, but in 1993 they did an animated movie to adapt the manga, and it's a 90s anime. So you may like it, you may be like, oh my god, this is so 90s. So when they adapted it in America, I was a little iffy on it because the eyes threw me off at first. But watching it itself, it was actually pretty impressive. So I have a clip of the anime as well as of the live action to kind of show the accuracy between the two series of how they actually did the source material and made it work.
Wasn't the OVA also released before the manga really got super far and it was meant to
Yes, it's one of those few series where the and this is big in the 90s, where the animes actually made the made the manga series much more popular. Another series is Sailor Moon that had the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I will apologize for anybody in the far back if you cannot see, but hopefully it works. Can you all see or hear?
I know who my enemy is. And I know he's watching us now. And you're just his slave. And I'm just an insignificant girl.
So, the next series that we have here, I already did that. It didn't work. Anthony yelled at me.
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't yell at you. It's
Were you the guys in the back able to see the video fine?
Okay, cool. So, how many people know the anime Rurouni Kenshin? So, Rurouni Kenshin, I've always loved this series because you have a different type of storytelling for the underdog who is, well, the Batosai. He was that assassin, becomes this really good guy. I don't know, I've always enjoyed it. And when the live action movies came out for it, I was a little hesitant, mainly because the guy they had casted to play Rurouni Kenshin, he actually appeared in a tokusatsu series, which is kind of like Power Rangers in Japanese.
Kamarader Dino.
Yeah, he was Deno's main
Yes,
character.
and so I was a little hesitant because just like with anything that we talked about, it's hard to adapt live anime into live action because
Or
there's-
manga into live action.
Either way.
Go! Shut up! Okay, it's hard to adapt anything into live action because you may end up murdering your significant other as you do it. But when I saw this movie, I was actually really impressed with how they did the storytelling for everything. They were very accurate, they were on point, and it just was actually good. Now, when they get to the Anishi arc, like with anything, the anime failed at it pretty much too. That still didn't work for me. But the first movie was still incredible. And if you have not had an opportunity to see the live action Rurouni Kenshin, I believe it is still on Netflix.
3 of them are, I think. All 5 are on there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I knew, and even if they go away, I know there's other ways to see it. So I'm going to play you a clip from the anime and from the live action, just to kind of show how both work well together.
I finally found you. You're much weaker looking than I thought you'd be, manslayer.
Huh?
Prepare yourself. Ha! Could it be possible that you're the legendary manslayer? I heard you killed 3 more people last night at once.
I'm a wanderer. I'm nothing but a wanderer. I'm merely a wandering swordsman, that I am. Do you honestly believe that I'd be able to kill 3 people with this?
What is this? The blade is on the wrong side.
That's a reverse blade sword.
Reverse blade sword?
It cannot slay anyone. And there's nothing about that sword that looks like it was ever used to slay anyone, is there?
You're right. There isn't a scratch on it. This sword looks as if it's as good as new.
So I have proven my innocence, have I?
Now you listen to me. The one they call Batosai the manslayer has been murdering people on the streets of this town every night.
She's my favorite.
お前が伝説のお前には聞かぬようだな。
逃げるでござる。
つまらぬように気づいてきた甲斐があった。
大丈夫でござるか。あちらへ。
こっちよ。俺は言うけど、別に助けてもらわなくたって平気だったから。
早く手当てをした方がいいでござる。
So, what I really like about Rurouni Kenshin's live action is he actually looks like the character. It's like they cut him out of the manga or anime and put him on screen, which generally is something they fail at, and that's actually something you'll see later in our bad section, because there are certain things that you should not put characters into live action for. So the next series I have is GTO. How many people have seen GTO? More people than I actually expected, because GTO is one of those series that was published in America for a little while. The anime, it kind of came out in America for a little while, but nobody knows it. Great Teacher Onizuka is basically about a teacher, or about a guy who, after leaving the Yakuza, so to speak, he wanted to go back and be a teacher. And the problem is, he is still acting like a Yakuza while he's in the classroom, which is absolutely hilarious because he works at this private school and the kids do not know how to handle him. He's also a giant nerd. So he lives his best 90s life thinking of Fist of the North Star and so many other series that you're like, oh my god, I know I married him in real life, but GTO is still my favorite. So let me play some clips, and there's two different live action series. So the live action series I am going to be referencing is actually the more recent one that came out, I think, in the early 2000s. Both of the live action series for GTO are actually all on point, but the more modern one just did it so much better and encompassed the character properly.
おい、どうした逃げねえのか。逃げたきゃ逃げても構わねえんだぜ。まあその代わりたっぷりこいつに焼きぶっ込んどいてやっからよ。お前らの代わりにな。どうする村井。どうかしたのか。鬼塚だ。助かった。鬼塚じゃねえよ。22世紀から来たドラえもん君だ。鬼塚？ふざけないでくれよ先生。先生？何のことだい？僕ドラえもんだよ。おいおめえら、こいつらに追い込みかけてんのか？面白そうだな。俺も混ぜてくれや。ちょっと火くんない？あ、どうぞ。あんた誰？あ？俺？サンタマリンで頭やってるドラえもんってんだ。サンタマリンのもの？ああ、よろしくな。何仲間になってんだよ。お前一応教師だろ。しつけえなおめえらはよ。俺はドラえもんだ。知らねえよおめえらなんざ。そんな。誰だそれ、知らねえな。何？なんだよ。俺は貴様らのところからユリアを助けるために来たケンシロウだ。
You're a big dork.
高校の頃ワルばっかやってた。ほとんど学校なんか行かなくて、あっという間に退学になっちまった。
おい、どうした逃げねえのか。逃げたきゃ逃げても構わねえんだぜ。
This is why I work in human resources, because I don't have to worry about shit like this.
Okay. See if the subtitles show up there. Shiro.
No, they're not going to.
あっという間に退学になっちまった。でも行けなくなって初め。
One
See,
sec.
all it does is restart it. What the hell is wrong with your computer?
I got an idea. Go to the folder. Go to the folder.
What? Here, just go. Once again.
Give me my mouse. My Mizaus.
Okay, he's going to be 40 this year, so please forgive him for how stupid he is. So as we're going through these technical difficulties...
This is why I kept notes.
And if they still can't see the subtitles for this, I'm going to laugh my ass off at you.
If they can't see the subtitles, that's a problem for me later.
高校の頃ワルばっかやってた。
Wow, you
ほとんど
failed.
学校なんか行かなくて、
There.
あっという間に退学になっちまった。
でも行けなくなって初めて分かったんだよな。学校っていいもんだって。友達はいっぱいいるし、面白いこともいっぱいあるしこの年になってますます学校行きたくなっちまったよ。だから教師になったんだよ。だって教師になればもう死ぬまで学校いられるもんなだから俺は今すごく幸せなんだよ。お前にもそうなってほしいんだよ。学校を好きになってほしいんだよ。今を好きになってほしいんだよ。俺みたいに後で気づいても遅いんだぞ、キキチ。おい、やめ。おい、いいぞもう雨な、やめ。
This is why GTO is one of my favorite series, because he will literally do anything to get his way, even make it rain, to prove to somebody that it's a good experience. So if you have not seen the anime or the live action series, any of them, I definitely recommend you check them out, because they are one of the best adaptations of an anime or manga series to live action. I actually feel in a way that the live action series are even better than the anime. So I'm going to let him explain this series, because him and our friend Avid Nebula apparently like this weird show.
Well, so there's a series called Mahjong Fighter, which is basically this guy actually got into a car accident, was running away from the cops, snuck into a Yakuza gambling bar, and ended up finding out he's really good at gambling, and went on from there. So there was an anime adaptation of this story based on the manga, and then they did a live action version that stayed pretty accurate. Now the live action version, when we put this panel together, the files, I've never seen an actual fan sub file. It was never been subtitled legally. So I had to be very creative with the live action segment and create my own subtitles for it.
So you get to see what happens when somebody's bored at like 3 a.m. And just to let you know, even though he lives in Colorado, he has never gotten high ever. So this is him completely sober doing this.
I mean, fair.
君かね、今夜の相手は。若いな。結構。若さは貴重だ。それでこそわしの差し出す大金と釣り合う。では早速わしず麻雀を始めようか。Why so serious? 名前を聞いてなかったな。赤木君か。かけたまえ。およその話は聞いているだろうが、勝負に入る前に説明しておこう。この屋敷の麻雀ハウスルールについて。と言ってもルールは通常と何ら変わりはない。人違うのは道具見るのは初めてじゃろう。あれがわしず麻雀の牌。うちの麻雀がこの裏からも見える透明な麻雀牌を用いて行う。一種4牌のうち3枚までが透明、背の黒い通常の牌は1牌だけだ。面白い思考だろう。恐怖の始まりは認識から。人は認識した後震える。その震えが何に起因しているのかを知りつつ眺めるのは楽しい。さて、ハウスルールだったな。ルールというより透明なパイで通常の麻雀を行うための工夫、約束事だ。全部で3つ。It's so boring. の約束事だ。全部で3つ。
まず1つ目は山を積まないということ。大会の妻も全てこの穴から引いてくる。
このように次に吹く牌が分かってしまっては今日ダメだ。2 二つ目はこの時モーパイで引いてくる牌を選べぬようこの手袋を終始右手にはめるということ。うまい工夫だ。そして3つ目は
Make it stop!
ドラ表示牌の裏ドラカンドラ表示牌に関する取り決めだ。これはハイパイの後に親がもう一度穴から引いてきてそれをその曲のドラ表示牌と定める。裏ドラカンドラも同様。その3つだ。簡単だろ。
血液をかけろと言うんだろう。
Like I said, this is what happens when somebody's very bored in the middle of the night and he's making my panel footage. So that's a plug. If you need somebody to create panel footage for you, but you don't care how it comes out, please give them a call. All right. So now I'm going to ask another question. How many people have heard of the series Hanayori Dango or Boys Over Flowers? That sounds about accurate. One person. So the thing about Hanayori Dango is it's actually, in Japan, the most popular shoujo series ever made. It has a manga series that's 35 volumes. I actually own all 35 volumes in Japanese. Or 36 volumes. And it has had an anime adaptation, completely 90s-ized. So, not the greatest anime adaptation ever. However, this particular series, because of the popularity in Japan and the Asian nation and all of the Asian nations, has actually been adapted into live action about 15 times. You have a Korean version, you have a Chinese version, you have a Taiwanese version, you have 3 Japanese versions, I think there's an Indonesian version. And I've watched most of them. They're all great, and they all settle on this one thing, that there's this underdog girl, her name in Japanese is Tsukushi. She is the scholarship student who goes to this very elite school. And because she believes in fair play and defending the underdogs, she gets targeted by the 4 elites who are called the F4 in that series. And you have the main character, his name is Tsukasa, who basically, once she punches him...
You said his name is?
His name is Tsukasa.
Oh.
And the moment Tsukushi punches him, he immediately falls in love because he's a masochist. The reason why I have this series on there is because it truly does adapt the anime and manga so perfectly. And truthfully, I could have chosen any of the live action adaptations. If you go on Netflix, there's actually 2 series. One's called Meteor Garden, which is the Chinese adaptation of it, and then there is also the Korean adaptation of this series.
And would anyone of those have like really big subtitles?
That's the Chinese Meteor Garden, which when they have one sentence, it takes up 3/4 of the screen to have the translation.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
What's up, Abel?
Are there any, like, there's 15 adaptations. Is there any bad ones by any chance, in your personal opinion?
I would say my least favorite is the Korean, but not because of quality or anything, just because it takes too long to get to the point. But then again, the manga is 36 volumes, so how quickly do you go? But in all honesty, this is one of those particular series that I try to promote as much as possible as well, because being that it is so loved in Japan, I just think it doesn't get enough love in the States. And so selfishly, I want everybody to see it if I can.
I can believe that.
This is your brain. And this is heroin. This is what happens to your brain after starting heroin.
The anime quality is terrible.
同じ手に2度も引っかかると思ったら大間違いなんだよ。卵は食べるもんで投げるもんじゃないのよ。投げるときはちゃんとボールってもんだ。あんでしょ。バカ。ざまあに続けたくはポリポリだ。そうよ、西方様。どうであったのよ。 あんたそれでも男なの？やることが卑劣なんだよ。あんたたちの少年、私が叩き直してあげる。宣戦布告よ。
しなさいよ。
あ？なんか言ったか？
財閥の息子かなんか知らないけどね。
自分で稼いだことのないガキが。
押し込んでんじゃねえよ。
私は逃げない。宣戦布告よ。どっからでもかかってきて。私は逃げない。So definitely, if you ever get a chance to, please do check out any of the adaptations, or if you can, the actual Japanese live action, because they're all so much fun and I'm a complete nerd. So some honorable mentions we have here: Astro Boy, which is one of the few, and I know it's not technically live action, but it's close enough.
It's an adaptation of something.
If the Lion King CGI movie can be considered live action, so can Astro Boy.
You know what? That works.
And then Death Note. So
the first Japanese film.
yes, just the first Japanese film. We will talk about others later on. Don't you worry. And then this, admittedly, Paradise Kiss or Parakiss. Admittedly, it's not a perfect adaptation of the anime, but if you've ever seen the anime is not a perfect adaptation of the manga. They're all kind of inspirational of each other, but the creator actually loves the adaptation of the live action movie, thinks it's the best, and I actually do agree with it, because it actually does everything that the spirit of the anime and manga really tried to put out there. So now we're going to get to a fun section. We're going to talk about the bad. So bad and live action adaptations are more like guilty pleasures. You know they're bad, you know they're terrible, but there's just something about them that makes you say, what the hell, I'll watch it. But they still understand the source materials, but generally either due to budgets or due to
poor casting.
Poor casting, or even the fact that it's not physically possible to do half of what you want to do in the movie unless you CGI the hell out of it. You're not going to be able to do that. Like, I'm still afraid for the day when Demon Slayer becomes live action. Because I am a little afraid of how they're going to make Nezuko small, put her in the box, have her come out, or even having Michael Jackson in the movie. They also, for the bad adaptations, tend to take a spin on the series that the manga or the anime never did. So they try their own thing, because what they're doing is they're definitely going for the gold and trying to get that new audience that has not seen the anime before, that has not read the manga before, but is willing to pay the absorbent amount, because everybody needs popcorn in a movie theater, to actually go see a movie. So with these, I wanted to show some selections of what are bad. And before I get reamed, because I know the first thing on here, before you change the slide, people are not going to agree with me. The other problem with bad anime adaptations into live action is called whitewashing.
Oh boy.
So please go.
All right, and well, the other thing is, so for most of these clips, we show a good scene from a movie that means that was done, like, okay, we could see they actually somewhat knew the material.
Or watched an episode.
And then the bad stuff.
He goes in the show, right?
Yep, there we go.
I had to put the whitewashing because I think that's what everybody is so
Ghost in the
pissed off
Shell,
about, which I agree.
you could tell the director loves Ghost in the Shell because he had favorite moments from the Ghost in the Shell series in his movie. He just didn't know how to stitch them all together.
Well, and I did watch an interview, and Scarlett Johansson surprisingly actually watched every Ghost in the Shell movie and TV series that has ever been created to at least understand what the show was about. So as much as it frustrates me because she is no Motoko Kusanagi, she at least knew kind of what they were supposed to be doing.
That's like the shame of some of these adaptations where these actors clearly know what they're doing. It's just they
Executive meddling.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that. Like there's another example later I'll bring up.
No subtitles in this, so I figured I'd just combine that.
Yeah.
Aw, out of ammo.
Got him, huh?
She's mine.
No. She's a contract with me.
We succeeded. She's more than human and more than AI. We changed her entire identity, but her ghost survived.
Her ghost is what failed us. We cannot control her. She's no longer a viable asset.
My name is Major Mary Killian, and I do not consent to the deletion of this data. I do not consent. I do not consent. We never needed your consent. Yours or anyone's. You're killing me. Aren't you?
Just say it's our anniversary.
Is it?
No, but let's just say that it is.
He gets the best robotic award. Oh, this one I need to show the Alright. So, next one is an interesting one because it's actually based on a light novel series called Boogie Pop and Others. It's a horror, a supernatural horror mixed with psychological horror where it's kind of like a Tarantino film where those events will play out of order and they'll have different viewpoints from various characters of what's going on in this world. The first light novel had a live-action movie adaptation that didn't have the budget to accomplish what it wanted to do. And then there was a really good anime spin-off series called Boogie Pop Phantom that took place after the light novel. And then a couple years ago, they finally did an actual anime adaptation of a bunch of the light novels into a new series. So here I have a scene from the Boogie Pop and Others recent anime with the live action movie that came out in 2000. And even though the movie came first, I wanted to showcase the differences because the anime still tried to be more accurate to the book than what the movie couldn't accomplish with. And as such, I only needed to use one scene from the movie because the movie actually this scene shows both the good and the bad of the live action version because it's great ideas, great accuracy, but man, their budget, sometimes you wonder why did you even bother?
Like Attack on Titan.
That makes it almost better though. The budget's terrible.
It can.
Well, it's just.
I'll kill you. I'll kill every last one of you pathetic humans!
Looks like he's been disarmed. Oh, sorry. Stubbed my toe.
While I had no problem severing your arm, it seems the head will be more difficult. Currently, I am Boogie Pop. Manticore, was it? Whatever you are, it's obvious you are much stronger than a typical human being. But I can make use of the strength humans subconsciously harbor, the kind that exceeds the limits of their flesh. Shiro, it's time.
その程度の力では僕には勝てないよ。なぜなら僕は世界の可能性だからね。シロ君、今だ。
Yeah, so Boogie Pop has inside her cloak basically her own universe she can send monsters and demons to, but as you saw there, the CGI was not very effective with it.
I wanted to make a really bad Great Will of the Macrocosm joke with that cloak. Anybody who gets that, gets that.
So, everybody hopefully has seen or heard about Full Metal Alchemist. Has anybody actually watched the live action adaptation on Netflix? So, there's many smart people in this room. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong. It's not the worst live action adaptation. We'll have those coming up soon.
I have a lot of friends who hate this movie and say it's like the worst they've seen, and I'm just like, y'all seen G-Savior?
About that.
We'll get to that later.
So basically, with the Full Metal Alchemist, it's kind of the challenge of, this is a series that's supposed to take place in Germany, or Germanic nation in that world. And it's hard to kind of translate that. It's the same thing that we have in America, same issue. It's hard to translate certain things if you don't have the right casting. And the other thing is they tried to do their own spin on the series that just didn't work. And they're making a sequel apparently because it did that well. So thank you everyone who's watched it.
What are those things? Even when they're shot, they don't die! Are they soldiers from Fort Briggs?
Idiots! How dare you compare my brave men with such disgusting specimens as those? I'm guessing they're the same as this guy. The one who gave you your orders must have sent those things out here for the attack.
Look, we don't know anything about these creatures, understand?
Well, then I guess they don't care. It doesn't matter to them whether you know or not.
まだ体が言うことを聞かない。
堂々と言えるんじゃねえ！兄さん。 ごめん兄さん、僕のせいで。違うの。ウィンディ。
私が捕まって、それで
今はいい。それより俺はホムンクルスたちを追う。だからこいつらを外に出さないようなんとか食い止めてくれ。やってみる。ウィンディ、応急処置で繋いでくれ。
私はこれで世界の王となる。そうだ。私がお前たちのパパだよ。
The vampires from I Am Legend.
And I'm not sure if his face is supposed to be, oh, should I be reacting to getting bitten?
So we're just gonna do Sailor Moon and Skip Speakers.
Okay, well, no. Alright, we'll just... This one actually should need no introduction. Does anyone not know what Sailor Moon is? Okay, Sailor Moon is...
Are we really? Okay, I started watching this when I was 14, so somebody should know what the hell this show is. So we're just going to
show you how very grateful we are.
Don't be condescending to me, you presumptuous dress-up dolls!
Return Tuxedo Mask! Endymion! You have no right to keep him!
I'd be willing to let him go if you'd just hand over the silver crystal.
Sailor Moon! You're even more deranged than I'd ever realized! Unforgivable!
It is you who are deranged if you think your silly attacks could possibly work here in my world.
We need to put our powers together to protect Sailor Moon. Let's do it, girls! Stop it! Even if you went out right now and bought us the finest haute couture trend-setting designs as replacements, I can't forgive you for trying to shred our Sailor Guardian outfit! In the name of the moon, I'll punish you!
I am Kunzite, a proud member of the Dark Kingdom's 4 Kings of Heaven! You can't make me yell out refreshed ever! Shit!
Ami-chan, 食べてよ。
And always twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom.
Oh, it's terrible.
Ami-chan!
どこを見てるの？月野さんの相手は私でしょ？
アミちゃん。
くれるなら光栄だわ。
マーキュリー、やめなさい。やめなければ、私はあなたを倒さなければならない。
どうぞ。できるなら。
プリンセスやめて。
プリンセスがこんなに弱かったなんて。
So as you can see, there was an arc in Sailor Moon, the live-action series, where they actually did what's called the Dark Mercury arc, where Mercury becomes a villain.
That was like the hard part about Sailor Moon, the live-action. As you saw, it didn't have the budget to accomplish what it tried out to do, but they tried really hard. And I give it a lot of credit for that because I like that they at least tried with it. And the actors kind of try to make up for the lacklusterness of the budgets. So that's one of the reasons why I still recommend, even though it's great to make fun of and it's not exactly the greatest series, it's worth watching, especially if you're a Sailor Moon fan.
It doesn't look any worse than Super Sentai.
Well,
And I'm a
it's
huge...
made by Toei.
Yes.
Basically what happens when you let people who make a campy live action show end up a campy.
Yes.
Yeah, so
how many people have heard of Speed Racer? How many people have watched the Wachowskis version? How many people like the Wachowski version?
I do.
Wow, I'm so proud there's 2 people. That's so awesome. I salute you. The Wachowskis are...
There was a lot of great ideas they had in this one. They really knew Speed Racer, but then, so when they were in the racing scenes, it was great. It was everything else that wasn't so
Do we have
great.
enough time to show
Yes,
it?
we should have.
If I'm to keep up with the pace I've set, I've got to make Miami in only 13 hours.
Now's the time to begin the oil operation.
Steve, what are you doing?
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
This next cave's a rattler. We'll make our move in there.
Why it tried to be a Guy Ritchie movie, I don't know.
I honestly love that scene for how weird it is.
So, 2 series I put under the bad that, well, 1, Assassination Classroom, that's hard to really replicate in live action. And then Ouran High School, they tried to do a lot of deviations from the source material that just didn't work. And it would take too long to go through it, and he would get bored very easily. So, we shall move on to what everybody really cares about.
What
the
everyone
ugly.
cares about. The bad, the really bad ones.
So, I have to read this verbatim because this is true. The Ugly series well, how many people have heard of the show Bananas in Pajamas? Okay, so I'm not alone. I swear to gods that the production of that team had to be on cocaine. So, when I look at these Ugly, I think the same thing, that they grabbed a manga book, watched an episode, said, I could do that. And in truth, anybody can do that. To do it well, though.
That's a different story.
So, rather than really get into this, I want to give my first example of an Ugly series. It really doesn't need much, or Ugly movie that really doesn't need much of an introduction. So please.
Netflix.
I'm so dark. I'm so emo. I'm so dark. I'm so emo.
You're the guy. You're L.
Well, it's not my real name, but I'm sure you're painfully aware of that.
What are you doing here?
Follow the lead. You?
I'm leaving.
I wonder if it was a difficult decision.
What was the difficult decision?
Being in this movie.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
You must have known it would implicate you, yet you couldn't bring yourself to do it. Well, I admit, I always wondered if you had a line. I guess it, fortunately for us, the line you finally decided to draw went so clearly in your direction.
So you really think that I'm Kira?
No, I know it.
Well, if you're so sure, then why haven't you just arrested me?
Oh, because I don't do check rights. Only checkmate. But we'll be there soon enough.
Great. Well, until then, enjoy the gelato. Assuming you can eat through that thing. And I'll just,
He's trying to remember his
Can I
line.
ask you something?
Yeah.
How do you think he does it? Kira.
I was actually hoping you could shed some light on that for me. I have a theory. I think that it's some form of remote viewing, coupled with maybe some latent psychic ability of some sort.
So you really have no idea, do you?
Well, I have several ideas.
The fuck? Change it.
So, since we're on the Netflix
Well, hold on.
track.
The one thing is...
Oh, really? There is no one thing.
No. I actually feel like this could have worked if they had it be a story that took place after the manga. Ryuk is bored again, and he's like, you know what? I wonder what an American would be like with the Death Note. They're trigger happy to kill anything. And I think that could have actually worked as an interesting original story.
Moving on, though. Because we're on Netflix, and Netflix apparently wants to do every series known to man, because they think it's cool.
We're not...
Wait, I thought the next one...
You never switched the
Oh,
slide.
son of a bitch!
I do want to give one credit, though, is that I did think Elzacker did a decent job.
Yes, Lackey Stanton he's great in everything he does, so even if the material's crap, you can tell this guy's like, I'm being paid to give the best performance I can. I'm going to do it.
The fact that he got the mannerisms down well.
Yeah, he was the only thing that made that movie worth tolerating for a little bit.
No, I can't drink anymore because of health reasons, but
because
I played on my phone.
We've got 15 minutes left, so let's just go to...
Go to this!
Hold on. First, we'll do this one.
Okay.
On the Netflix binge, here's the worst part. We had only watched the first 2 episodes of Cowboy Bebop, and we're like, this is not so bad. Jet and Spike are awesome. John Cho and Moose, I can't think of his name now. We're great. And then the show got canceled, so I was like, well, there's no point watching. And then I got into this debate with someone who told me the ending of the season. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So we watched, it's like, that completely defies the entire point of the rest of the series. Because if you don't know Cowboy Bebop, the main character is drooling over this girl that helped him escape the life of a crime syndicate. And he's trying to find her, he loves her, but he can't find her. And that's all he does. Well, in the live action series, there's a pivotal scene in the 5th episode of the anime where he's fighting his main guy who also loved this girl, who shoots him out a window. Well, in the live action, they changed it so the girl, Julia, shoots him out the window.
It's stupid.
You should see yourself. You have any idea what you look like right at this moment, Spike? What? A ravenous beast? The same blood runs through both of us. The blood of a beast who wanders, hunting for the blood of others. I've bled all that kind of blood away. Then why are you still alive?
To live in endless terror, wondering if today's the day he tires of me and tosses me from the window. You made me.
I loved you. I never stopped loving you.
That may be. But it's clear now. You are nothing more than a dream I needed to wake up from.
Timing's up.
So we wanted to plug a movie we really wanted to see at the same time.
Yeah, that works.
All right, so how many people like Dragon Ball? How many people suffered through this movie?
I own the collector's edition of this movie.
There's a collector's edition?
Abel, why am I not surprised?
It's called the Z edition. I'm dead serious.
Okay, I'm gonna have to borrow this from you, Abel, because I don't know who's more on drugs, them or you for owning it.
Dragon Ball's are thick and thin, guys. Dragon Ball's are thick and thin.
Funny thing is, I did read recently with some of the people who worked on Evolution that the screenwriter did state that he was not happy with how it had to turn out like this, and half the rewrites were not.
Oh yeah.
And Justin Chaplin, the guy who plays Goku in this movie, he actually stated he did study the character before, like by reading the manga before doing so. But then he got the script. It's like, this doesn't sound right.
Basically, I feel like he read the Cliff Notes, but here's...
Hey, he did a great job as Superman in Doctor Who.
That's, yes. But this movie actually killed his career. For anyone who does not know that, he actually said, just like the guy who played Aladdin in the live action, because of this movie, he still has a hard time getting work in Hollywood.
Oh, sure.
What are you doing here, Gigo? I'm just going to the party. Look, I was invited. I'm not looking for any trouble.
Trouble found you, freak. So listen, why don't you turn around, walk away. No one will even know you were here.
That's stupid.
See ya.
Later, loser. All right. I'm not doing that. I made a promise that I wasn't going to fight.
What?
I made a promise that I'm not going to fight.
Oh. Don't worry, it won't be a fight. It'll be a massacre.
Missed. Missed again.
Sorry, Zach.
You're stupid.
That's gotta hurt. Hey, Chi-Chi! Hey, thanks for inviting me to your party.
Stop being stupid.
So how many people like Gundam? How many people have heard of Gundam? Okay. How many people have seen G Savior? How many people have heard the Star Wars Christmas special? That looks okay. If you've seen the Star Wars Christmas special, you really don't need to see this. I promise you, it's just as bad.
Don't worry,
It's a live action, well, obviously live action, but it was made in Canada using some of the actual English voice actors who dubbed Gundam Wing in this movie.
Oh, so are in this?
Lady Un's voice actress was what like the one scientist in there.
Oh yeah.
It's not. What?
Because this has a subtitle file.
Oh my god.
Subtitles, fun for nobody.
Well, apparently
僕の原因はそのおもちゃにあると見た。違うか？
ただのおもちゃじゃない。こっちの事情も知らずに暴力はいけませんよ。
甘ったれるな。船を沈める。
私だって。
そうだな。
そんなんじゃない。
So our last series of today is going to be Fist of the North Star. Fist of the North Star should not be that difficult to adapt into live action. All you're doing is fighting. Yes, random body parts blow up, but it's fighting.
Just take fighting with some road warriors.
But apparently, even though Australia can make Mad Max, they cannot make an anime adaptation, as you shall see here.
それでは史上最強の暗殺兵北斗神拳だ。北斗神拳。どうやら知っているようだな。おじけづいたか。だがもう遅いか。何の真似だ。指一本で俺を倒す気か。
いや、経絡飛行、学中をついた。お前はすでに死んでいる。
俺が死んでる？貴様何をバカだ。なんだこれは。
お前に教えておこう。北斗神拳を使える者は北斗神拳の伝承者のみ。
まさかお前は。
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom!
Anyone who likes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I will say you'll actually really enjoy Fist of the North Star because it has a very similar artwork style, fighting style, even the anime is...
Actually, that was the direct inspiration.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Basically, as my friend says, everything comes back to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So as you can see here, some great honorable mentions that I recommend never watching if you get a chance would be Kites, because apparently Samuel L. Jackson will do any movie he's given a script to, and Guyver. No.
And Gatchaman. There's a live action adaptation of Gatchaman, and it is awful.
Yeah, they really gotcha if you watch it.
We gotcha, man.
So we're going to show you, as we finish up with this particular convention, I'm going to show you panel, whatever. I'm going to show you why you should never watch Guyver.
The first
Yo, I deal with this. I've been looking high and looking low for the guy and jiving thing to show. And now this punk's become a hoe when all along he's had the song. Well, let me just tell you one thing. I'm gonna boot that thing with the guy in it. I'm going to make you crawl and gonna make you sing. Cause I want that guy and jiving thing. Boy, then come and get me.
Except, I'm sorry, I want an epic rap battle between him and the pumpkin rapper from Power Rangers.
Oh my god.
So that is all we got. Did everybody have fun? Did everybody learn something? Thank you so much. And thank you for coming to this panel, because it literally is the first panel of the convention, because I'm awesome. And if you're bored throughout the weekend, we have other panels. I will actually be doing tomorrow a panel on what makes an anime hero.
And then I've got panels tonight on Ultraman and Kamen Rider tomorrow. And we do have business cards up here with our YouTube channel and website where we have all the photos and videos from this weekend up on.
And if anybody wants any candy from a stranger, you're more than welcome to it still.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Bye, everyone.